It's not a competition.
I always have to tell my kids that.
Yeah. So how many times, in your opinion, like just off the top of your head, on average, how many times a day do you think you take a leak?
It depends how much water I drink.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying, like average. Like over the course of your life or whatever.
Probably 7 times.
You're kidding.
Probably like 5 to 7 times a day.
Wow. So I think you drink more water than I do. You have a lot more equipment for that. But for me, I just guessed 4. Well, yeah, I probably pee like 4 times a day. It's probably low. Because, I mean, for sure, first thing in the morning, for sure before bed, that's 2 already.
Right.
I think I must pee more than twice just throughout the day. But I put in 4.
You put in 4? Oh, that's average. That feels really low. I mean,
I think it is.
If you drink at least 2 cups of coffee a day, you're peeing after you drink those cups of coffee.
All right, I'll go. Hold on, I'll go 5, but that's it.
And then probably like before or after dinner. Maybe before
Probably.
or after
right,
lunch.
I'll stick with 5. I'm not willing. I feel like anything more than that, and I'm just artificially inflating the numbers. So I stuck it into a calculator. 365 times 46. Here, I'll just do it again so we can run the numbers together here. 365 times 46 is 16,790. So that's how many days I was alive until I hit my last birthday. Because I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to try to tack on, the days since then. So that's 16,790 days, which already seems crazy.
Yeah.
That I've been alive for that long. And if I multiply that by 5, what did I just do? Hey, hold on. Sorry. 365. Oh my God. What's going on? All right. 46 times 365 times 5. 83,950.
Okay.
And we're calling that a conservative estimate.
Yeah.
That's how many times that's my estimate, I guess, for how many times in my life I've urinated. And I mean, and you, like, as we just said, you drink a lot more, water than I do. So you might, and I know you're a couple of years younger than me, but still, you might have hit 100,000.
Yeah, I would say that's a realistic expectation.
That's crazy.
If you're putting in like at least a minute of time.
Yeah, gotta be.
Like in pee.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
You do a little dab after you pee? You do a little. You just shake it off, or you do a little dab? It's okay. You can tell me. You just shake it off.
Tell 1,000 of my closest friends, right?
You're kind of a nasty individual. You probably just shake it off and move on with your life. That's fine.
Yeah. Sorry.
You wash your hands at least?
Yeah.
You're not one of, well,
with soap.
Some people are just like, well, I didn't pee on my hands. Guarantee
Dude, you're like,
we have enough people that listen
holding
to
on to
this.
something though.
Yeah.
It's just like your hands are close by. Right?
That's what I say. So, anyway, that's a lot
that's
not
a lot of time,
something I was
though.
planning on. It was just like, I don't know, for some reason,
You're just thinking
as
about
you can
it.
imagine, I peed right before the show. It's preparatory.
Right, and I did too.
I brushed my teeth because, as we discussed before, you don't talk into a microphone with a dirty mouth. That's just wrong. Anyway,
how many times do you brush your teeth like throughout the day? You think? Do you brush after every meal?
No. I wish I could say that to you right now. I would say 2 to 3. Like bare minimum is wake up in the morning before I leave the house, brush my teeth. Obviously before bed, brush my teeth.
Right.
Oftentimes, I have like a toothbrush and toothpaste and floss in my desk at work, just as needed,
Yeah.
Like if I ate something where I got stuff stuck in my teeth, or I just feel like, my mouth doesn't taste quite right, I'll go ahead and do a rando extra brushing.
Yeah. Thinking about flossing, that gets me thinking about
how much your gums bleed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was recently discussing with my wife, like, about how I've been thinking about this idea that I have of like writing down every single thing that I would like to get done on a daily or weekly basis, like not on a specific schedule, like things that I would like to do.
Yeah.
And like all the things that I would like to do for me to feel like I'm living a good life. Like I'm like would be happy with the life that I'm living. You know,
so are
like,
you saying there are certain things that you're not doing right now?
Well, I mean, just things that like, you know, even though, you know, like working out, like it sucks, like doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
But afterwards you're like, yeah, I did that. And I'm glad that I did it.
Yeah.
You know, and I just started thinking about like, well, there's that. But I mean, you know, I think about if I flossed every day,
yeah,
or at least every other day, I feel as though my life would be improved upon for something that is like relatively like low effort,
yeah,
and easy to do. And the only reason I don't do it every day is basically out of sheer 100% laziness.
Oh yeah,
you know,
same.
But I feel like if I floss at least like, you know, 3 to 4 times a week,
yeah,
I feel as though I would be happy about that aspect of my life. And I started thinking about like, well, you know, if I'd like to lose like 25 pounds, like 25 to 30 pounds. But the thing is, you know, I just been kind of a lump on a log for the last year. And I feel as though recently, like I've like really started to like pack on the weight, and I don't mean to. I'm not doing anything different. It's just happening. And I'm like, well, you know, like I got like a workout stuff here, but also like I should just make an effort to like exercise like very intensely, like whether it's either like getting back in the running, which I've done for the last 3 days, by the way, since I've started thinking about this.
Yeah.
Just do that very intently and just do it. And it sucks to do it, but you know, I feel as though I would be happy about that aspect of my life. And I started thinking about just how that comes into like a lot of other things. You know, like I would be happy if I could, even if it's just like, you know, like playing the long game with it. But if I worked on My Life in Gaming for at least 1 hour, like on a new episode for at least 1 hour, whether it's scripting,
yeah,
you know, mainly scripting or like filming it or editing it, I think that it would certainly like remove a lot of the like stress related aspects of it in my life. And I would feel content about that aspect of my life, where I don't feel like I need to cram to like get like something done because it's been too long and this and that. Like if I just like played that slow, steady game, and like an hour of that is absolutely 100% doable. Yeah. And there's almost zero reason for that not to be something that happens. And it should be like at least 1 hour. Yeah. You know, so I started thinking about like, what is all the stuff that would fit underneath that kind of like that approach that I feel as though, you know, it would improve my life. And if I just write that all down and then I just try to figure out how to make time to do that stuff, or just make the effort to do that stuff and see if I feel better about my life and where it is and where it's going. You know, like I should be, it would be nice to just say, hey, I'm going to, you know, at least 3 nights a week, I'm going to sit down with my kids and I'm just going to like specifically focus on them and what they want to do. Like no distractions. I'm just going to like focus and like be around them and actively do something with them. Yeah. And that should be doable. And I feel as though there's like everything to gain and nothing to lose from doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you're correct.
So I've just been thinking about that a lot. Maybe it's, you know, this time of the year always kind of gets me as we move from like summer into fall. And I love fall. It's like the best. Yeah. Yes. But there is
days are getting
something
shorter
about fall that's like, it's like, has like that melancholy like feeling to it. You know, it's maybe it's nearing 45. I don't know.
Oh, hey, speaking of that, well, first of all, let me just say, I feel like, well, I don't know. I don't have a word for it, but I feel like this happens on this show a lot. I feel like everything you're saying right now is going to lead perfectly into the thing I was the most excited about talking about today. But I'm only interrupting you to say this because you're the one that made a big deal about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is episode 44.
This is 44.
And
this
you're
is
44.
Coury's age.
Yes. You were very excited about that coming up. It's the what?
It's my golden episode. Golden episode. Now, what we talked about, where it's like,
yeah,
I will never be the same age as the number episode
it
is ever again.
That's true.
Unless we reboot and start over.
I mean, we could. If that's what needs to happen.
Every episode should be episode 44, 45, and 46, or whatever ages we are.
Yeah.
We should alternate between those two episode numbers.
Yeah.
That would be really funny if it was like episode 80 and it's like, you're listening to episode 44.
Yeah.
Or 45, it would be.
Do you have any... I feel like I pushed you off the tracks a little bit there saying
No, not at all. Okay. It's just, this time of the year is like what does it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always feel it just feels sad. It just feels
weird
sad.
To me. I never feel that way about fall. It's interesting. I mean, different people, different whatever. I don't, it makes me wonder like what you must have, whether conscious or otherwise. I feel like you must have some associations with fall that make you feel that way.
Well, I mean, I like it the most. It's like the best time of the year, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have these underlying feelings of sadness,
it's not like a sadness as in like where I feel down, but it almost feels like maybe it's more self-reflective.
Yeah.
As this time of the year, like I reflect on, where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
I guess. Because fall always, the way that it goes from, like green and warm to slowly getting, multicolored and then dark.
But then you can get all your cool clothes out of the closet.
I know. Well, I know. There's like so many different cool things about it. But, like spring and fall are both like these, like a metamorphosis period, or just
listen to you,
I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying. I get it.
But some days I feel it more than others, and today is just one of those days. Especially since, like I don't know if you feel this way, being down in the basement, but when you are down there all day, if you're like working real hard on something,
yeah,
and you almost like see no sun.
I have a window.
I mean, I have a little window too.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as like having a lot of sun just like on you all the time.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And it can make things feel depressing at times.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Try to take breaks and come up, I don't have a huge palatial basement like you do, so like, this is like a glorified closet down here. So,
I put the I don't know if you saw my post on Instagram or my Instagram reel yesterday.
Oh, I don't think I did. Sorry, I don't spend too much time on the gram.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. So, the weekend before last, there was kind of like a town-wide yard sale.
Oh.
And, it's just like everybody has a yard sale on this one day. And you can just kind of go out and walk around and go from yard sale to yard sale and see what you find. And me and my son went, my son and I went
Thank you.
shopping. We had a wallet full of cash. And he came back with a couple of Nerf guns, including a pretty sweet sniper rifle Nerf gun.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. I wanted to go because I saw a post on Facebook Marketplace about it. somebody had a pretty nice small rig, fluid, heavy duty tripod.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
It sells for $170, like $170.
It's not like that crappy one you convinced me to buy that I had to turn around and donate to Goodwill, is it?
No, that one's not crappy. It's just, it was too big for your needs. It was probably too powerful. Like it's too powerful.
You couldn't harness its power.
Yeah. Because I love my Stanford and Davis.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as you got, or that I convinced you to get.
Yeah.
But this is a small rig, and it has a really nice like fluid head. It has you can like do like a center pivot type thing where you can unscrew the thing and you can make it so that you can straighten the camera without having to like change the leg height.
Oh, I see. Like a
bowl thing.
God. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Sure, that's nice.
But it was, it's brand new. It's brand new, not even opened.
So how much, like if you were to go on like B&H or something and buy that?
$170.
Okay. Oh, you said that already. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How much?
So I got it.
I assume you got it the way you're talking about it. You must have got it.
Yeah.
Right.
I gave him $70 for it.
Oh, well, that's less than half. It's good.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got some wiggle room there too.
Yeah. Well, this guy just seemed like he wanted to get rid of it. But also, I was disappointed because I rushed over there when I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. And in that same photos, he had all these Xbox One Elite controllers, which are the ones with a little, like, you can remove each piece and put different parts on it. And those things sell for, the Elite 2s, they sell for like $140. Yeah. And he had like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I got there and they were gone. And I was like, oh, I was hoping they'd still be here. It's like, no, someone bought all of them for $55.
Oh, dang.
I'm like, what?
But I mean, that tripod's probably more useful for you anyway. I mean,
oh, absolutely. It's not like I need.
Like, would you have rather shown up there and the tripod was gone, but the controllers were still there? I mean,
well, either one is a win, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But probably my biggest win.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah. Well, first, like the toilet broke here in the toilet or in the basement. Like the
look at Mr. Fancy's got a bathroom in his basement.
Yeah, it's like
wow.
Yeah. Believe it or not, but
I have an old Gatorade bottle that I use.
it's full of pee and cigarette butts.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. Take it upstairs.
There's a good Mike Watt song called "Piss Bottle Man" we can talk about after you're done with your story.
Okay. But the toilet down here, the inside, like the part that raises up so it stops filling with water, like in the tank.
Yeah. I want to say that's called the float, but I wouldn't.
It might be.
Yeah.
Well, that has like been getting jammed on mine, so I got to like babysit it while it.
Why don't you just
like fills up in case I can't just like walk away, or else it'll
pretty cheap. Just go to the hardware store and
right. But they are pretty cheap. Yeah. But when I was there, someone was selling a brand new one, like not even opened.
Oh, at this yard sale thing.
At the yard sale for $5.
Score.
And
you knew that it was compatible. You're like, oh, that's a
it's like a universal, but it's also
whatever.
It says it uses new technology. It's to replace the old technology, is what it says.
Yeah.
I mean, it has all the parts. Like it has parts that I'm not going to even change. Like it has a thing that goes. But now you can take the entire tank off.
Now you got spares.
And it has like that rubber thing that fits into the back
gasket or whatever.
So like, it makes it more airtight. I'm not going to do that.
I don't blame you.
But I feel like that's a pretty good find. But that's not even the best thing.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I missed. When we were like on our way out, we'd spend all of our money. All I had was $5 left.
Yeah.
And there's one last one. We walked up this hill, and I was wearing my gaming historian T-shirt.
All right.
And the people sitting up there were like, "Oh, I like your shirt."
Yeah.
And they had like some PlayStation 3 games, but it's like nothing that I wanted. Stuff that I already had, but also
did you ask them if they watched the show, Gaming Historian?
No.
You could have been like, hey, I know.
If they asked me about that, then
hey,
I'm
I know
sure.
a guy that contributed some voiceover, work to that show.
I did some
Yeah.
But they said, I like the shirt. I was like, oh, thanks. But we just like talked for a little bit, and then as I was about to leave, I didn't buy anything. I saw this big, long, like kind of metal rod looking thing. I'm like, is that like a projector screen? And it was like huge.
Yeah.
And it's like a pull down projector screen.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, my brother used to own this house. He had it in the basement. He hasn't used it in years. It's in great shape. And, like we just wanted to get rid of it because we're going to do something else with the basement.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's got $15 on it.
Yeah.
Which is still, I think, is a pretty good deal.
Yes. But you don't have $15.
But I don't have $15. I was like, oh, shoot. And it's like, I only got my last $5 here. And they're like, oh, that's fine. I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I got this gigantic screen.
Like, can you put it in your basement, or is this going to be like a side of your house kind of thing?
So both, really.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Right. So it has like mounts that it has like the screw holes, like you can put, like the screw keyhole type things where you can, if you have screws like on your wall, you can put it on there and then it like snaps in, right?
Right.
But it also has like little hook things, like these little triangle things.
Oh, the versatility.
You can like use hooks. Yeah. Yes. So I'm like, oh man, that it's so dumb because it's like not something I even thought about. But then when I'm just like faced with this stuff, it's like, oh, I can figure out something to do with this. Or it just like gives me all these ideas.
Yeah.
And I have a projector. It's like a pretty good projector. I don't know, like I think it was expensive when it came out, like maybe in like 2007 or something like that. But I just have it. Are you looking at your cat? Is your cat doing something?
She's just staring at me, but she has her eyes like half closed.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm listening.
I think when the cat like looks at you and they like slowly blink, it's supposed to mean I love you.
Yeah, you're supposed to do it back. You're supposed to like slow blink back at him.
Yeah. But anyways, I had like, now my brain is working. It's like, oh, I want to put this up. I'm going to do something with it. And I mounted it in the basement, but I put it so where there's the ducts overhead. Because I have a drop ceiling down here, but there's parts where there's like ducts overhead, and like there's always like kind of protrusions on parts of the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And I could like perfectly mount it in one of those, and it just like goes up, and it like looks like it's not even there.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then like I'm like, well, I did that, but I don't want to have the projector like sitting down there like aiming at it. So I bought a mount for the projector and mounted it on another one.
Yeah.
So it's like up high and out of the way and like mounted to the ceiling. And then I'm like, well, I don't even know what to do about audio. And
this is a very expensive, I'm guessing, $5 projector screen.
Like, cause like the,
because now you already had to buy a mount. Probably
but it was $12.
All right. Well, now you're up to 17.
But I was like, okay, what do I do about audio? And I had a sound bar that I got for like, it was like a $500 sound bar.
Yeah.
I got it from that pawn shop, like brand new in box.
Yeah.
For like $75.
Wow.
And
just out of curiosity, what brand is it that it's $500?
Is Denon? Denon?
Oh yeah, Denon. Yeah.
That's like what my main receiver is.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, what if I put that like mounted that above the screen and kind of like angled it downwards a little bit?
Sure.
And I looked at the back, and it has two of the screw keyhole type things.
Yeah.
So I mounted that like above the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had this whole like home theater thing, like just, because once I get that idea in my head, I can't let it go, I guess. And it's just, ooh, how can I like deck this thing out?
What have you
And-
what have you guys watched on it so far?
Oh, we the only thing that we've watched is like the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie.
Sorry. I didn't know there was a new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, well, it's like the animated one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. It's I mean, it's fun, but so the thing is last night I hooked my Mister up to it. And I put a post on Instagram.
Oh, sorry.
That was like just throwing shade at my kids. I was playing Revenge of Shinobi on this big screen.
Yeah.
This pull down screen, like in like the music is like bumping. And my post just said, imagine having the ability to do this.
Yeah.
And still the only thing you want to do is play Roblox.
Wow. Kids out here catching strays. It's kind of true, though.
It is, right?
Like, imagine they could get on that system of yours, which seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Load up some Super Mario Brothers, beat it, and then walk out of your basement $100 richer.
Yes.
And instead, they just want to play Minecraft or whatever.
Yeah. Although I just got my son Fortnite, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh boy, I don't even know what that is.
It's just like
It's
an
okay.
online
It's okay.
multiplayer game.
Okay.
But it has like every single character ever in it, apparently.
Right. I see.
And it's all like officially licensed, though. It's not. Either way, it's just funny because I thought it was just a cool, and the idea that I could do that on this screen would like, if I could like show myself
Yeah.
that in 1990, like my brain would melt. It would like straight out like just melt and like come out of my nose, probably, and my ears and stuff, and my eye sockets, probably. Like it would just, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
And like imagine you being able to do this and like all you want to do is just like play this other crappy game. Because he's like, he's like all into this like thing called Skibbity Toilet. That's a whole other thing.
I mean, could he at least play Roblox on that thing you set up? Or is it just like iPad only?
Oh, he could play Roblox on that thing.
But do you think he would care?
No, he'd probably love it.
Okay.
He'd probably be all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like into this. Apparently, there's this whole. It's like a meme that has like blown up, and there's all this. Like what's that one guy? The Slender Man.
I have no idea.
It's like a new version of that, but it's called Skibbity Toilets.
I don't know any of what you're saying right now.
Whatever. It's just like some like internet legend type thing.
Okay.
It's internet legend stuff for people that were born after like the real internet legends existed.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's called Skibbity Toilets. I laugh because it's like it sings this song that goes skibbity bop dop dop dip 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 skibbity dop dop dee hee.
Oh, it's like Scatman John then.
It is kind of like that, but it's called Skibbity Toilets.
That's a good song, in my opinion.
Yeah. But apparently there's like all this like lore. I like looked at his iPad and he was like watching like Skibbity Toilets, all Easter eggs and mythology or something like that.
Wow. Well.
But it's just like this weird, like it's like a head coming out of a toilet, and it's like all what's that thing called? It's like a Half-Life Gary's mod, I think it was what it was called. It's like a Half-Life 2 like engine like animator. You could like bring character models and like have them do stuff in it, or like animate them. But yeah, it's someone in our Discord like shared like a picture of like this backpack that you could buy, a kid's backpack that like showed a couple of these characters with their heads coming out of a toilet, and it says "Skibbity Toilet" on it.
Hey,
and somebody posted this picture and said, "Well, I guess this is where we're at as a society now."
Yep. Buckle up. Hey, you know what you should do then, since you got the Mister hooked up to your garbage can home theater down there? You should show Monty that game Toilet Kids.
Oh yes,
he'd probably think I hope that's the
PC
age
Engine,
bracket right? I hope that's the age bracket that's aimed at. I mean, I wasn't terribly impressed, but I would have been when I was like 10 or 8 or whatever, you know. I mean, if you like poop, that's the game for you, I guess.
There's been several times where I've almost bought that game, like, because I just want to have the hue card of it, kind of.
I mean, if I was at like a game convention, they had Toilet Kids and it wasn't terribly expensive, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Would you if it was loose, would you buy it?
I don't buy loose games. I have a job.
I understand that, but I mean, what if it was $20 loose?
I mean, I can't say because I don't know what that game goes for, like, complete. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it like $100 game and it's $20 loose? Then yeah, maybe. You know, if it's like $40 complete and $20 loose, no.
No, I'm right there with you.
I would never pay $100. I mean, I really wouldn't pay. That would be an impulse buy kind of thing. Because it's not a good game. You know, it's not, because I don't mind all the, you know, poo-poo humor, but it's just not a good game, you know, underneath all that. You know, it's not like Soldier Blade, but with poo, you know?
Yeah. Like, what if it was called Toilet Kids, but it was like the game was Soldier Blade?
Well, yeah, that'd be all over.
What if Soldier Blade was called, you know, Toilet Blade?
Yeah. Poop Knife.
Yeah, poop knife.
I don't know if you know about that.
Of course.
The Reddit legend Poop Knife.
Yeah. I know all about the poop knife.
Yeah.
I know all about it.
Anyway.
All right. Anyways.
Are you, have you reached a stopping point or?
Yeah, I think I'm just had to get it out.
I appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to sort of let you, because I feel like normally I do that. You know, I'm just
let me vent for a little bit. Yeah,
well, I don't mean vent, but I'm just saying I feel like normally I'm the chatterbox. So
yeah, you know, like last week I was in Florida, and I think, you know, I don't think we're gonna like rush this episode out. I think we're probably just gonna release it on our normal day at this point.
That was my intention.
I mean, it's mostly my fault that there wasn't an episode this previous week, because
I don't think that's true.
I went to Florida for work. Man, it is like just like oppressively hot in Florida.
Still now?
Oh my God. It was like, I don't know. It's just, I can't imagine existing in it. And like, that's just like how things are. Like, I don't understand why anybody wants to live there. I mean, even if it wasn't oppressively hot. I'm not the biggest fan of Florida, just like in general. Like, I just don't.
I've never been there, so I don't.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's I don't like coming from you. I mean, because growing
like
up on the East Coast and even where you live now, I mean, like, you're no stranger to humidity,
right?
Like,
but
I feel like it'd be worse for me because
like,
I am not.
It's just like so thick.
Yeah,
that it was.
I get it.
It was terrible, and it's only going to get worse. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, if my entire family didn't live down there now.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sent, like, that's the main reason I'm sent there for work a lot of times, is because they're like, because
they feel like they're doing you a favor.
Yeah, because I mean they are.
Well, why don't you tell them, like, you'll never believe where my entire family just moved, the big island of Hawaii.
Yeah, well, if they had these events there, although I should see if there's one that's going to be near you.
I was going to say, yeah, tell them, like, hey, you know, my brother from another mother lives in Northern California.
Although I might be having to go, I mean, speaking of oppressively hot, I'm sure it's even worse.
You're going to Saudi Arabia?
No, but I might have to go to Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're asking me to go. I've never been to Texas before.
It's a weird name for a city.
Yeah.
Because that's Latin for body of Christ. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, name this town Yes, it's like people who name their kids Jesus. Like, isn't that blasphemy? I feel like it's blasphemy.
Yeah, if you say the person's name every time, are you saying the Lord's name in vain?
Didn't I tell you that story already? I used to have that refrigerator magnet.
No.
Like, when I was in community college, I worked at the zoo. And I didn't work in the gift shop, but we had a gift shop, and so we had like these magnets where it was like the logo of the zoo and then your name. It's one of those things where, like, I'm sure you could never get one of these because, you spell your name, more uniquely. And so, on the spinner, there's not going to have Coury with a Y or whatever. You know.
But that there's, the reason for that, though.
No.
You don't know why my name is spelled the way it's spelled?
No.
Holy cow. Maybe we just never talked about it. I mean, maybe I'm about to blow your mind.
Well, hold on. This is quick. I was going to say is like at one point they decided to add like a bunch of names of like, like Hispanic names because we got a lot of like, Spanish speaking folks that would come to the zoo. And one of them that was on there was Jesus. And I just thought it was funny because really you're just buying a refrigerator magnet with the zoo's logo and it says Jesus on it. And then like I bought it. And then like the lady who was the manager of the gift shop, her mother was like visiting. And somehow I mentioned that. And she like very seriously, she's like, that's blasphemy. And I'm like, well, your daughter's the one that ordered it in the first place. So get off my case.
It didn't just show up out of nowhere.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, yes. Please tell me why your name is spelled the way it is.
Oh, because my real name.
Oh, it's not even your real name?
No.
I didn't know any of this.
Holy cow.
Wow. It's Cornelius.
I wish.
I wish my name was Cornelius. That's a cool name.
No, my full name, my actual real name is Courtney.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just telling you.
All right.
That's why, I changed it to Coury.
Yeah.
Because, like growing up, every day, first day of school, it's always like, Courtney, is she here? Is she here?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's like now, like if I have to go pick up like prescription or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like what is their date of birth? Never like,
right, because they assume it's not you.
Because they never think it's me.
Is there like some family reason your name is that, or did your parents just want you to get beat up a lot?
Apparently, we were like my parents thought that they were gonna have a girl like up until the moment I was born.
Oh no!
And I think that they had decided on the name, and like they're a couple of hippies, so they were gonna be like, well, let's just stay with it.
I mean, it's not
either that or Morgan.
It's not common for a guy, but it's not unheard of. I don't think either.
Right. But it was either that or Morgan. I don't know if Morgan. It could have been.
I mean, there's dude Morgans and chick Morgan. What's your middle name?
Yeah, John.
Oh.
My brother, his name is Adam.
Yeah.
And his middle name was his first name was almost Garth. Imagine those Carlson boys, Morgan and Garth.
Yeah.
Garth and Morgan.
I've never met a Garth. There's Garth Brooks, and then there's Garth from
Garth Algar from Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never met a Garth.
Met. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's just an observation.
Yeah.
And then, in the UK, there's Gareth, and I wonder if it's related. Right. I wonder if like Garth is like almost like a evolved contraction or something of Gareth.
Mm-hmm.
Should look into that.
Well,
somebody should. I'm not saying we should. I'm saying somebody listening, find out.
Yeah. I didn't know if your mind was going to be blown when you heard that. You're just like, oh, that's fine. But
yeah, I thought, I think you built it up too much. I thought there was going to be some kind of crazy
No, there's no real story to it. It's just, yeah, my name is Courtney John. So whenever like I was doing something bad and they call me by the the
could have gone by
first and middle
CJ.
name.
That's a people.
I mean, people call me
CJ.
CJ.
Yeah.
The old Siege. Hey, Siege.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So can I bring it back around? Because we talked about this kind of like outside of the podcast a little bit.
Oh boy.
But when I was in Florida, I stayed with my brother, and when the first day that we got there, he has cable, I don't have cable, and he turned it on the TV, and he's like, "Oh, look, the MTV Video Music Awards."
Like you don't
are
even
on.
have like YouTube TV or anything?
No, I mean, you let me use your account for a bit, but it was like just only letting me watch stuff that was like local to you.
Oh, excuse me.
No, that's fine. I logged out of it because I feel like you could give it, like, let someone else use it who would probably use it more. I don't want to take up one of your seats.
Well, I appreciate it. Although
what?
Just throwing this out there. Well, it's too late now. You've logged out. You're done. But I have NFL Sunday ticket now. So.
Oh.
So.
That's okay. I mean, the Bengals are not gonna win.
All right. Anyway, though,
you
were talking about Florida and cable TV.
Yeah. Well, the MTV Video Music Awards are on.
Yeah.
And that kind of blew my mind.
Did it?
I guess. Well,
just because MTV stopped showing 16 and Pregnant long enough to have an awards show, or
well, yeah, but also, like, is the MTV Video Music Awards even relevant for kids of any age? Like, who's watching it? For one,
know.
I mean,
but do you think
are kids like going to it for like any kind of like pop culture information?
But do you not think that young people still watch music videos? I mean, I assume they
have
do.
Like
they
so
just
many
watch
other
them. They just watch them on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, it's
which
not
is like a channel.
Artists still make music videos and they just put them on YouTube.
Exactly. They're not showing them on there, which I think is like really interesting for one thing. But you mentioned 16 and Pregnant and like Teen Moms, right?
Yeah.
I think I had this kind of epiphany where people our age will say like, oh, like MTV was awesome when they still showed music videos.
Yeah.
But like let me throw this out there now. They've been showing reality TV longer than they ever showed music videos now.
Yeah, that's probably
which
true.
is crazy to me. It's crazy that there are people that like grew up with it completely that never watched music videos on there.
Yeah.
Like teenagers now, even if they wanted to watch music videos on there, they couldn't.
Yeah.
But that was like started like a long time ago. I mean, like 25 years ago, probably now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when they.
I mean, the end of the 90s, probably.
I feel like Total Request Live was like the last in my memory.
Yeah.
Was like the last. Okay, we'll still show. But then I remember even like Total Request Live, like they wouldn't even show the whole music video. They'd show like part of it.
Right. So if they went back to showing music videos, we'd have like a whole generation of kids to be like, MTV was awesome when they just showed reality shows. Now it sucks just showing music videos.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how popular that stuff is with the kids, but
well, that's what I mean. Is what I think is interesting is that the people like who is watching, is it only the people who are a certain age and kind of grew up with it and like watched some stuff on there? Are they still like watching the channel a lot?
I don't know.
Or like what is keeping them alive? And like, I mean, I don't think they have any relevance in.
Well, I mean, shows like that are so cheap to make that, I mean, MTV wouldn't need to make that much money to still be profitable.
True. But, I just don't.
And
like
I mean,
they're part of a much bigger company.
They're a cable-only show, which means like, yeah, they have to pay money to make Teen Mom or whatever, but then they've got people paying them to show commercials, and then they've got people paying them to carry the channel. Like, it's more like, to me, like if I was, DirecTV or YouTube TV or whoever, I'd be turning around to MTV and be like, what are we what are we paying you for? But of course, you know, these media conglomerates, they put these channels together. They make bundles, right? Because you might say like, well, no one's watching MTV anymore. We don't want to carry it. But
right.
then the corporation says, well, if you don't take MTV, we're not going to let you have these other things either, right? Because, I mean, MTV is just owned by, like, Comcast, isn't it? I think.
It's Viacom, Paramount. Is Comcast, does Comcast own Paramount?
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Because Paramount owns Viacom.
That's your ecosystem,
Viacom.
not mine.
Yeah. Well, it's like, when I first moved to New York, I freelanced at MTV a whole bunch, like on different stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot, like, and that was back when they would, they had MTV2 that was just showing music videos.
I remember.
And VH1 was still showing music videos, but a lot of their stuff was like geared towards an older audience, but also stuff like behind the music.
Yeah.
Which was excellent.
It was
at the time when there's nothing.
I wouldn't say it's excellent.
Well, there was nothing.
For the time, it was good. Yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more stuff.
People make better stuff now on YouTube than behind the music was, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
But you look at that though, and the amount of journalistic research probably they had to go into like really source all this stuff was significantly higher. It's not just like a Google search.
Remember Pop-Up Video? I used to like that show.
Oh, that was
Pop-Up
great.
Video.
Yeah, Pop-Up Video was great, and
factoids. Who doesn't like factoids?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that did you know gaming kind of start as something like that, but then they started having like voiceover for it. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever watched an episode of Did You Know Gaming. So
I haven't in a long time, but
yeah,
but still. I just wonder if it's started off as the same thing.
Like in the same way that like porn stars probably don't watch porn. I don't watch things like Did You Know Gaming?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only like gaming content. I almost only watch stuff from like my friends.
Yeah. That's probably out of a sense of obligation, really.
Yeah. Well, I don't want anybody to be like, well, did you watch my new video?
See,
no.
Anytime I ask you, I'm always like, I don't care if you didn't,
Yeah,
because I don't want it to sound like, well, I'm not going to assume that you watched it. I don't care if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
Yeah. Well, I was going through. I've been putting a lot of these live streams public, but like in the live tab on our channel.
Yeah.
And I was going through, and like you've been on a whole bunch of streams over the years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just really interesting that, you look at these videos and you can see us like both age.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You used to be like in your upstairs room.
Yeah.
Like the first one you were on with us, I think, was playing some stuff on a Neo Geo.
Okay.
Neo Geo, like multi-cart.
Yeah.
And then there was like magazine read-throughs.
Yeah.
And I put those live recently, and someone commented on it and says, you should do more of these.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't know. Like, but, I was talking to my wife about the MTV thing, and she said, oh, well, she started Googling it and says, oh, apparently this year's show was, it was like like the biggest numbers wise show that they've had in a very long time. So they must have been doing something. They were celebrating like 50 years of hip hop or something.
Oh,
on it.
I don't know.
The only like band that was on there was Fall Out Boy. And I had mentioned outside of the podcast, they played their cover of Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire." And it is like so bad. It is so bad. I can't.
Somebody else brought that up to me, and I went and listened to it. It's bad.
It's I'm not saying that the original is like a great song, but it's like it's a neat song. Like it's really cool.
I don't know. I forgot who. I heard someone talking about that song and how bad it is. And I was like, really?
Well, I mean, it's just it's kind of in a way, it's kind of corny. But what I think is so interesting about it,
I remember when it came out. It was
it
was very popular when it came out.
Yeah, and it's still like one of those songs that everybody knows.
Yeah.
But what I think is so interesting about it is that song is basically like 1949 to 1989, listing of events, and it's like all in chronological order.
Yeah.
Which is impressive, if you ask me. Like that probably took a very long time to write or to figure out and make it work.
Maybe.
But this new one is just, they're just like reaching for whatever.
It's just like word salad, isn't it? Just like,
it's just like references.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like rhyming George Floyd with Metroid.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
It
just seems like it's in poor taste to me.
I mean, that's like, to say
that
the
seems
least,
like somebody was high when they wrote that. Oh, what rhymes with George Floyd? Oh man, Metroid.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
People are gonna love this.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of aghast at what I was hearing.
Yeah. It'd be interesting because believe it or not, this is the second time for me today that Fall Out Boy has been brought up, which is not a lot, but I mean, it's most days it's zero. So I was out to lunch with all my we had like a group lunch today, like all the coworkers and everybody, and one of my coworkers, a very nice person, mentioned she was excited that she's got tickets to go see Fall Out Boy. And I mean, judging by the way she says, it seems like she's a pretty big fan. So I should ask her what she thinks of. Now, she's obviously far too young that she ever heard Billy Joel's version when it was, current.
When it was like in the public consciousness, I guess. But I feel like it's never quite left the public consciousness to an extent.
No. I've heard he hates that song. I don't know how true that is, but I guess he never plays it in concert. Like, he's not a fan. Well, it's like, you wrote it, man. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, half the videos I've made, I actively tell people, please don't watch that. So.
But maybe there's some other reason he doesn't like it. Maybe he thinks it's kind of corny in retrospect.
Maybe.
But no matter like what you think of the song, whether you think it sucks or if it's corny or cheesy or if it's like amazing, it is a like miles and miles and miles better than Fall Out Boy's version of it.
Well, I mean, that's not exactly shocking. I mean,
no,
Billy Joel's written a lot of great songs with great lyrics, and you know, maybe that's not one of his better songs, but then that only says something about how good a lot of his other songs are. Whereas Fall Out Boy, all right, was like pop punk, right? Whatever.
Yeah. Emo, pop punk.
Emo?
Yeah,
I don't know, really.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And they broke up for a while there, and then.
Oh no. Isn't that the guy that married Ashley Simpson or something? Right, Jessica Simpson's sister. That Pete Wentz guy, is that right? Pete Wentz, is that Fall Out Boy?
Yeah, it is. Maybe are they still?
I have no idea. I don't even know how I know that to begin with. it's buried in my brain.
Well, seeing them on there got me thinking about these other people we haven't heard from a long time. And I thought about Ashley Simpson. Remember the lip syncing thing on SNL?
Yeah.
You ever go back and watch that?
No.
It's it is
I mean, I've seen
difficult
it.
to watch.
I haven't gone back and revisited it, but I remember seeing it.
It's difficult to watch, but it's just amazing that basically, and rightfully so, destroyed her career.
I mean, I forgot if it was Millie or Vanilli, but one of them ended up killing themselves because of So apparently, getting busted lip syncing is a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But, I thought about her, on the SNL thing recently, and I was like, oh, man. It's it's still difficult to watch.
Well, I mean, I don't enjoy watching stuff like that, where it's sort of cringy, somebody else had something happen that's embarrassing.
I wonder if that is mentioned in That moment's not mentioned in the version
Probably
of Rita
not.
and Start the Fire.
Pete Wentz, unless they're not. Maybe they had an unamicable. Is it unamicable? What's the opposite of amicable?
It's unamicable. I don't know.
I don't know about
probably
that.
There's probably no anti version.
Maybe
of
they had a
amicable.
contentious divorce. Is what I'm trying to say.
maybe or maybe they weren't even married. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right. Anyway.
All right. Sorry, I've been dominating the conversation. What do you got?
Well, only for 55 minutes though. So I wish we had recorded last week because I wanted to talk about this when it was more fresh in my mind. But I sent you that picture. But I went and saw this band in what days? It was like not last Friday, the Friday before. It was like 10 days ago. I went and saw this band live called MSSV. It's the name, MSSV. Okay. And the reason I went and saw them is that the bassist for MSSV is Mike Watt, which, some people, Mike Watt, very famous bassist. And it was sort of like, and I'm not trying to make a joke or anything, but it was almost like a religious experience in a way for me. Like it was very like eye-opening. So just to fill everybody in, and probably you too, I guess. But so Mike Watt was the bassist for Minutemen, and then after D. Boone died, he started a new band called Firehose that was a little bit more maybe popular than Minutemen was. And then after Firehose broke up, he just did solo for a while. Like he just recorded under his own name and had just like a backing band or whatever. And when that happened, so he like Firehose breaks up and Mike Watt starts working on his own album in like 1994. Is this album? You should check it out. Actually, I'm going to put a couple tracks from that album actually on your Minutemen mixtape, which I've made the sound file. I need to transfer it to minidisc. Okay. You're going to be, we're getting off topic here now, but like, I should tell you this off the show, but like, just do me a favor. I'm going to send you this thing. Like, please like listen to it. But I mean, like actually listen to it. Don't throw it on while you're, mowing the lawn or jacking off or whatever you do over there. Like actually, I kind of made it short so that you can just like sit down and pay attention. And you'll understand why when you turn it on. There's more than just music. I will do. There's more than just music on there.
Okay, what I will do, and I promise you this is what I will do, is I will plug these headphones directly into my receiver and just sit in my recliner and only listen. I will put my phone
well, I'm not
far away.
All right, I'm not trying to do some kind of Guantanamo Bay thing.
Listen.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I think about that, the list thing that I was talking about. Yeah. Like I should do that one time a week or one time a month.
Little me time.
Or I'm just like listen. I intently listen to something like that. Like just focus on listening to it instead of like putting it on while I do something else or put it on in the background or while I'm working or like filming something.
Yeah.
I should just like plug my headphones into it. And just sit like without any distraction and just like listen to it and see like what it does to me. Because I can't even think of the last time I did that.
Yeah.
So I will do that.
Okay. All right. Anyways. So where was I? Okay. So he makes this album. It's called Ball Hogger Tugboat. It's the name of the album. And he has like, if you read, like you can go read the Wikipedia article, the list of like guests on that album is like ridiculous. Because like, Mike Watt was,
respected, I'm sure.
Like any really other bassist from that era, if you ask them like, oh, who's your favorite bassist? They're going to say Mike Watt. Like somebody asked, I forgot his name, but the bassist for Pearl Jam, somebody asked him at one point, oh, who's your favorite bassist? He's like Mike Watt, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
So, they all love this guy, right? And so like they all wanted to be on this album with him. And then right around the same time that they were recording that is when Kurt Cobain, took his own life. And part of the way, and I think part of it, like, and I don't want to make this a long thing, but, Mike Watt and D. Boone were like best friends since childhood, and they started this band Minutemen together, and then D. Boone dies, and it's like not only did Mike Watt lose his band, he lost his best friend, right? And so when Kurt Cobain passes away, like Dave Grohl and I don't know how close all of them as a whole were, but they're dealing with kind of the same kind of stuff. And so I kind of feel like maybe that has something to do with it. But, Dave Grohl, part of the way he dealt with his grief is he kind of went down into his basement and wrote and recorded the first Foo Fighters album.
Yeah. Which is a great album, by the way.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yes. And, I think this is what I read, but, Eddie Vedder and Dave Grohl convinced Mike Watt, like, we should all go out and tour together. You got this new album you just came out with, right? Mm-hmm. And I got this new band, Foo Fighters. And Eddie Vedder had this side project called, like, Hovercraft that was, like, him and his wife,
Yeah.
So they told Mike Watt, they said, hey, we're all going to go tour together. Or how about let's do this? We're going to all go tour together. Eddie's band and my band will open for you, right? We'll have like, Hovercraft and then Foo Fighters. And then me and Eddie, we're going to play in your band. We're going to be in your backing band, right? Like they tell Mike Watt this,
Yeah.
And you can go look at videos on YouTube because they were going around and playing like, the late night shows and going out on tour. And, there's Mike Watt with his bass, and he's got Dave Grohl playing rhythm guitar, Eddie Vedder playing lead guitar, and I think it was William Goldsmith playing drums from Sunny Day Real Estate. And then for a while he was in Foo Fighters. Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like you're Mike Watt, you got these two guys that just said, we just want to play in your band,
It's pretty wild though, when you think about it. And really it's just them like being there for them too.
Yeah.
This horrible stuff just happened. So like, let's just get out of here for a little bit. Let's just go and get our minds off of it and do this and like deal with it and like work through it.
Yeah.
And we will help you work through it.
But I'm saying this happened, this tour was in 1995, right? Like Nirvana has already all happened, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Dave Grohl's already a star, right? And like, I mean, same thing with Pearl Jam, like
yeah,
Eddie Vedder, so it's not like, oh, we're all up and comers together. It's like these superstars were like,
exactly.
Oh, we want to go out on the road and play with you. Anyway, so that tour happens, right? With, Mike Watt going and doing this thing or whatever. And then like he ends up recording a couple more albums under his own name. And then, he just goes back to doing, like little side projects and like doing whatever he wants, like, well, no, he played in the Stooges for like 10 years, but it's like, going around playing, they weren't writing new music that he cared about. It was just, but I mean, he went on tour with Iggy Pop for 10 years in the Stooges. That's pretty good. Yeah. And then he's just like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And he just does all these like little side projects, like he had this little band. I'm saying this guy doesn't rest on his laurels. This guy isn't like, no, I'm a big time star now. I'm going to play only in like, big venues and, whatever, go on tour and just do nothing but play like Minutemen covers or whatever. He started out in this punk scene and like, that's just what he's used to. So he just has his white Ford Econoline van and he just goes on tour. And it's like, oh yeah, I did this thing with, Dave Grohl and Eddie Vedder or whatever. I'm just going to go back on the road and play in these little venues or whatever.
Cause he just likes it. Like that's his favorite thing.
It's probably his passion. Yeah. And cause I watched, there's the Minutemen documentary, but that's, obviously older. But, I watched another, like somebody made like a little miniature documentary about Mike Watt that I watched. And, but anyway, so I go, he's, I went, cause he has a website and I just went on his website just to kind of see what's doing on there. And I just saw there was like a tab for tour and I click on the tour and I saw like, oh my God, he's playing in Sacramento like this Friday with, this MSSV band that he's got going on. So like, well, I'm going to that. And it was at a venue I'd never been to before. I just told my wife, I said, hey, we're going to go check out.
She go with you?
Yeah, but that's my wife is like always down. Anything you say, hey, you want to go do whatever? Yeah, I'm down. Anything. She just likes doing stuff. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
you
showed
ever get her to, you ever have her come down and play on the Mistercade with you?
Sometimes she'll play, a little bit.
Really?
A little bit. But like I showed her the Minutemen documentary just to give her an idea. Like we watched it together just so she could say, this is who we're going to see is this Mike Watt guy. Because he's sort of the main, in the Minutemen documentary, he's sort of the main presence in the documentary. But
is that like easily like viewable?
Yeah, it's on YouTube actually. It shouldn't be, I suppose, but it's there. If you just type Minutemen, it's called We Jam Econo is the name of the documentary.
Okay.
It's like an hour and a half long, but it's really good.
I will watch that.
Well, I was going to send you a copy of it anyway on
okay.
on a USB stick.
Okay. And when you get a chance, you should watch that Pro Jam 20.
I know. Anyway, so my point, what I'm trying to get at here, right, is that so I go to this venue in Sacramento. It's called Old Ironsides for anybody who lives around here that's watching this. Old Ironsides. It's just a bar. Like it's literally just a bar. And they have an extra little room, but it's just a room. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's only a live venue because it's an empty room that's got like a quote unquote stage that's literally like 6 inches higher than the rest of the floor. There's no chairs. You just go in there and you stand. Mm-hmm. But so you're standing in front of the band's right here at eye level with you, and you just stand there.
Was
and
it
play.
packed?
No, I mean, there was a good number of people in there. It wasn't packed but that's part of what I'm getting at is this guy's not riding his own coattails. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
he's doing it because he likes it. Not because.
But I'm saying like it had the band's name. It didn't say like Mike Watt or featuring Mike Watt. It had the names of the last names of the 3 people in the band because it's a trio. But nothing other than that. So it wasn't like, oh, Mike Watt of Minutemen or anything like that.
Right. So it's just there because, I mean, in a way, like I guess
he's just
like
supporting
his friends,
and,
like his friends supported him.
Well, these are different guys, but yeah, it's a couple of guys that are
different.
His age that he's just like they're all. Yeah, like, this is what we're gonna do right now. We're going out.
Like I guess if he was trying to like get them to be bigger, he would put his name more out there for it. But it's just like he's just doing it because he wants to like hang out.
But so we go to this venue and the opening act is literally the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. It was so bad. And
you maybe need to watch the newest MTV Video Music Awards.
No, dude. No. This was like like I'm not even saying this in a joking way. It's like how like the FBI will like use like sort of sound as a torture, like, oh, we're going to blast sound at somebody like nonsense.
Yeah.
That's what this was like. It wasn't music. It was like a wall of sound and not in a good way at all. It was really bad.
Okay.
Anyway, and thankfully they didn't play for that long, like 30 minutes at most. And
you don't want to drop their name here?
I don't even remember because they didn't have the band name. It was the name of it was just like the last names of the 3 people. But anyway, like that ends, and then I was like, I want to go outside and get some fresh air, and they open the doors between sets so people can go outside and smoke, Yeah. And I wasn't going to go smoke, but like I walk out the back door, and like there's Mike Watt just standing there talking to some dude, and parked right there on the curb is his white Ford Econoline van. I'm just like, holy crap, I didn't even say anything to him. I just kind of stood out there and just listened because he's like telling some other guy some kind of crazy stories. But I love the way the guy I've never seen anybody use as much slang as he does. You can't understand half of what he's saying because it's like this weird like San Pedro slang. And but I don't know. I was just enjoying sort of listening in, I guess, in a conversation he was having with somebody. But it's just crazy, it's like, oh my God, there's Mike Watt just standing right there, just shooting the breeze,
Yeah.
And
I mean, in those situations, you're never going to be like, you got to go over and talk to him. Like
well, here's the thing. This is what, I had this idea in my head that if I got the chance, like after the show, I was going to try and see if I could record something with him real quick, like for the podcast. Because he would 100% do it.
Yeah.
But for reasons I won't get into, that we weren't able to do that. But, and then like, it's funny because then like he goes in, he goes into the bar or whatever to go get his stuff set up. Like they don't have, there's like not roadies or like techs. I mean, like these guys carry their own stuff in there, and they're old men now, you know? And it was funny, man, because I was in there and he was like getting set up, and I was kind of, I mean, because I was really there to see him, right? And so I kind of was making sure that like my wife and I had a spot on that side of the room. Yeah. You know, so that I was on sort of his side of the stage, you know? Mm-hmm. And like, it's just funny. Like there's this lady and like, I don't know what, she was on some kind of drugs. And I don't mean like she did an edible or smoked a little pot. I mean, she was wigged out. But it's weird because just the way she was dressed, the way she wasn't like she seemed like normally she had her stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't seem like, you wouldn't look at her and be like,
she just left her 9 to 5.
What's that?
Like she just like went there straight from her 9 to 5.
Maybe. Yeah. But she was just acting all weird.
Phones or
she had her phone out and she kept, and mind you, like, you know, the 3 guys are on stage and they're like unpacking their stuff because they don't have anybody to help them, you know, like Mike Watt's just like getting his pedal board out and plugging it in and getting his bass out of the gig bag, pulling his mic. Like he literally walked in, he has gig bag, and then he had his microphone in the front pocket of the gig bag. So he had to pull that out and just set that up. And this lady keeps like trying to talk to him, but like you can see she's got her phone out with the camera app open. But then she's making these weird gesturing motions, like she's trying to get them all to come together and take a picture together. And he's just kind of ignoring her because he's trying to get set up, you know?
Yeah.
And then like she leans over and taps him on, because this is all happening right in front of me, like literally right in front of me, right? Like she leans over and just taps him on the shoulder a couple times, you know? And he just turns around, and again, it's just Mike Waddy has this voice, you know, and he's just like, lady, if you don't knock it off, I'm going to have you removed. And I was just like, I told my wife, I said, if that happened to me, I'd have to leave. Like out of shame, not like, oh, I don't like you anymore, Mike Waddy. Just like, I'm so full of shame now, I got to go. But of course, she didn't have that problem. So then she was doing some kind of weird, like dancing all through the crowd the entire time. Like, weird lady. Very weird lady. But my point is just that, like,
I'm gonna have you removed.
I'm gonna have you removed.
Like, yeah, I would be, like, I would just be mortified. I was just like, I gotta go.
Yeah, but she was on something.
But the thing is, like, I wouldn't even do that in the first place.
Of course not. Nor would I.
Because I mean, I think it's better just to, like, you know, if you have a chance to talk to somebody, like, I'm not gonna go out of my way and be like, oh my God, you're so awesome. Like, if it was just like in a situation where, you know, you're just occupying the same place, it's like, oh, you know, you can like maybe just like say something out loud about something that's going on, not like saying like, oh, I think you're awesome. You can say that like afterwards.
I was going to try to get him. I had a does it slap and should we eat it queued up in my head for him, but it was going to be like sort of, you know, because you know we always say about how like it'd be cool to have somebody famous on here and then not talk to them about.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, and like I had read a few interviews with the guy. And so, like, I kind of knew, like, I had a does it slap and should we eat it, like, teed up for him that was going to be, like, having nothing to do with, like, the things he's famous for.
Just never even acknowledge it. Like, I think that would be really
I would say,
fun.
like, oh, you know, I'm not going to not say anything, but.
Right. But, I mean, it would be funny to, like, we got a hard-hitting question for you.
Yeah. But anyway, so my whole thing is just, like, you know, because on his website, I mean, he even has like a little tour diary, and it's just like, you know, these guys are literally, because I mean, the tickets for the show were like $15.
Yeah.
I mean, like nothing. Like they're not making any money off of it. They're just like, this is, and you could see just watching them play, they just enjoyed it. Like they're doing it because they love it, you know?
And they can, yeah.
And I'm sure they're making a little money, and then they're selling some merch and whatnot. You know, I'm not saying they're not, but I mean, does he really have to do that anymore? No. It's just what he wants to do, you know? But so I'm
he is not stressed about making ends meet or anything like that. He's just...
Exactly. But I'm saying, so I'm watching that and seeing like how this guy lives his life as far as like his relationship with his music goes, you know, where he just doesn't care about any of the other bullshit. You know, he's just like, this is what I want to do right now. Like playing with these 2 guys in bars across the Western United States is what sounds cool to me right now. And like, I'm not Like, I already paid my dues. I already did the stuff that I'm famous for.
Yeah.
And I just don't. Now I'm just doing stuff because it's what I want to do. And it was like a really...
And it doesn't matter if it does well.
And it was just a really eye-opening experience for me, seeing like that. That's the kind of person I'd like to model, parts of myself after.
Yeah, like you're just like your outlook and your, you've already paid your dues, like making launch videos. Now you should just do.
Yeah, and not saying I don't want to do that anymore, but I'm just saying at this point I'm just going to do. I should do whatever I want. I even felt like having the 2 channels is stupid.
Oh, are you thinking about consolidating?
I'm thinking about it. Well, I'm not going to move stuff, but I'm just saying, like, at some point, I think, like,
I think you could. I think
if I
want
to put weekend rental videos in the main channel, and the thing is, if somebody doesn't want to watch that, or if somebody needs to unsubscribe because of that, it's okay. I'm not mad.
Yeah,
I don't need, this isn't the airport, and I don't need you to tell me when you're departing. But if you need to leave, that's okay. I'm not,
Yeah, I think that is totally fine, and you should just.
Yeah.
I think because I think I've like said you should do this, like about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
In terms of that.
But I look up to Mike a lot more than you,
the reason I say that though, is because like the stuff that you upload to your to Plus is like really good. Maybe. And I think that sometimes it's like hard for you to like be like, oh, these people that are watching this stuff aren't going to want to see this stuff, and it's like it doesn't even. I think that it's good enough to stand with that stuff, with the stuff that's already there.
The problem is like when you get to where you're known for something, people want to put you in a box.
Yeah,
and they don't want they want to pigeonhole you and say, no, you're the guy that does this, and that's what I want you to do. Because anytime I've tried to do anything that's not that, I have to hear about it.
Right.
like just even the magazine read-throughs I take grief for. And it's just like, and I feel like I've been saying this for a long time, but I'm saying like, I don't know, maybe just seeing that made it more real to me. Cause that, to me, that's someone that's like legitimately famous. Like I'm just some clown on YouTube, but that, if he can do that, then I can definitely do that because like I'm just some dude that's made some videos on YouTube that people watch. That's a legitimately very famous person, and if he doesn't care, I especially shouldn't care.
Yes. Well, what I think you should start doing is you should start doing like putting whatever you want on there, and if anybody says you got to hear about it, I think every single person that complains about it, you should says, if you don't knock it off, I'll have you removed.
Yes, I should say that.
To like everybody, and then you can shadow ban them if they say anything.
Yeah,
and then you've had them removed.
Yeah,
you warned them. You're telling them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just left that just feeling like after all that, I talked to my wife about it. Because like she goes through, because she does stuff in a creative field as well, and she struggles with some of the same stuff that I do, and I think we both took something from that situation.
Yes,
I would say.
I could see
like,
that.
I want to be the Mike
case.
Watt of like retro gaming YouTube. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think that is. I mean, I think that like I could learn something from that also, like not stressing out about, like I've been saying for a while, like I'm gonna stop worrying about like how long certain things are, like if I'm just gonna let them be what they are and not get worried if like, oh, I gotta trim this down, blah blah blah, and like not that that's like ever been a problem for us, or like, but on the flip side, like I shouldn't feel bad about something being short.
No, absolutely,
like,
you should not. You've much like myself, you have more than paid your dues, and much like myself, you don't rely on your show really,
right?
Monetarily, it's
it's like a fun thing to do, and I mean I worry about that a lot. Like I've said that I worry about like, oh, like like this aspects of it, so like not any fun anymore, but like then I should make it fun.
That's what I'm saying.
I should be having fun doing it.
Yeah, whose fault is it if you're not having fun anymore? Because the thing, it's hard because when it's you, you're like, oh, well, if I don't do this or I do that or whatever, you know. But it's like when you look at somebody else, like I'll say Mike Watt, right? Like when he goes and does like this thing he's doing now, right? They didn't play any like Minutemen covers or
Right.
you know, songs from Fire Hose or stuff that it was all like, no, that we're here playing MSSV music and that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what he wants to do. And if you're somebody who's like a Mike Watt fan like me, like that's what I went for. I want to check out what this guy's up to. Like, I mean, I listened to the albums before I went, so like I knew what it was going to sound
Right.
like. But I'm like, dude, this sounds cool, right? But then there's other people that are going to be like, oh, why aren't you playing Minutemen covers and you know and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And if he said, oh, well, I better just start doing that, then, you know, that's not, in my opinion, making the right decision, right? But so like,
not
that's
very
what I
punk
should
rock
be
of him.
doing. So if I'm, you know, if I want to make a weekend rental or whatever the hell I want to make, and someone's just like, oh, how come you're not still making launch videos? Like, well, then you're, you know, I'm not going to dictate what I do based on what you want.
Yeah. Like what do you owe them?
But I don't even mean it from that perspective. It's just like, you know, you can't just keep making the same. It's really easy to come up with like a formula and be like, okay, this is my show. This is what I'm going to do, is just keep sort of turning the dials. And like, if someone wants to do that and they're happy, then fine. But I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of the reason. It's just like, I like the fact that I get into doing something, and then at least in my mind, it's kind of run its course. And then like, I'm going to move on to the next thing, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm kind of, I guess on the flip side of this, I took my daughter to see Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
As our first concert. And, you know, like I felt like that was, Billy Corgan specifically seemed to be like annoyed when people were not as into like the new music that they were playing.
Yeah.
And like all these people, everyone's here, you know, they just want to hear the hits.
Yeah.
You know?
But you can't blame them.
No, you can't blame them, but also you can't blame people for wanting to go and hear the stuff that they want to hear too.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you can't blame them, meaning the crowd.
Right.
Like if you're going to go,
can't blame them.
If you're going to go tour and call yourself Smashing Pumpkins, people are going to have.
You got to play that.
Like if he wants to play new music, you know, maybe make a new band or something, tour under a different name. You know, even if it's going to be, you know, Jimmy Chamberlain and James Iha with him, without Darcy. If you're going to write, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that's what you have to do. I'm saying it muddies the waters when you're still Smashing Pumpkins. Then of course people want to go see the stuff you're famous for.
Right. And, you know, like that's very much a situation, you know, where if I was by myself, like when they played today, that would have been like Bathroom Break.
Really?
For me.
You don't like that song?
Oh, 100%. Huh. Like it's just one of those things, you know, that I just don't need to be there. Like the last time I ever saw REM, like my Bathroom Break was when they played Everybody Hurts.
I don't blame you. I don't like that song.
I was like, okay, this is my time to go and, you know, go to the bathroom. That's fine.
See, if I had talked to Mike Watt, I'd be 2 degrees away from REM.
There you go.
Because that was Minutemen's last tour was with REM. I could have been 2 degrees from REM, but I didn't talk to him, so it doesn't count.
In my life, I've talked to Michael Stipe and Peter Buck, so you technically are 2 degrees.
Oh, all right. Well,
so you the second one, and I'm the 1 degree.
Yeah,
because I've like talked to them. It's not like we're friends, but we've.
When did you talk to Michael Stipe?
I met both of them at. Peter Buck was in this instrumental band, like in the. I want to say it was like 1998 or 99 or something like that, called Tuatara. Which is pretty good. I think they released like 3 albums, but it's all like instrumental.
Yeah.
And they played this thing called Summer Stage in New York City. And I went to that. Like we drove to New York and went to that. And he was there. I mean, I can show you photographs.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like hard photo, like real photographs. But yes, I mean, so you technically are.
Yeah. What about Michael Stipe? How'd you talk to him?
I mean, he was there, so I talked to him. Then.
Oh.
But I mean,
but was he in the group or was he just there?
He was just there.
Okay.
He was wearing
so you
he
talked
was
to
wearing
them
a
together.
Tibetan flag, like a cape.
He was wearing a what a flag?
A Tibetan.
Oh, okay.
Tibetan flag, like a cape.
I just didn't hear you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's, like
cool, I guess.
proper terminology or what.
I think Tibetan, I think is correct.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just like interesting. Like I think it's really cool that you had a good time. And I feel like, like I had a good time at the Smashing Pumpkins show, but it was the third time that I've seen them, and it was definitely like the worst of the three.
Yeah.
My daughter seemed to have a pretty good time, but she didn't like know like all the music, like almost all the music.
Yeah.
I think she was like more like excited about like the spectacle, and like James Eha talks to the crowd more than Billy Corgan. And James Eha is very funny. I think he's very dry and just like humorous. Yeah. I think very good sense of humor.
Yeah.
So he like talks most of the time. But it's funny, you talk about how, you went outside this bar.
Yeah.
And you saw Mike Watt just like hanging out, talking to somebody else. One time when I was in New York, I like came off the subway in Williamsburg on Bedford Avenue.
Uh-huh.
And, James Eha was like ringing somebody's buzzer.
Oh, nice.
To like go to their place. And I was like, oh,
that's cool.
I didn't talk to him, but it's like, oh, he's like right there, This is like during the period when like, the band was not together.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But it was a good show. I think my daughter had a good time. But so when they played the Ava Adore, like he kind of just like, I mean, it's not that great of a song, especially live. But
yeah,
I feel like my daughter was more into it during that song than any other song, because like Billy kind of like walks around on stage, like he doesn't play, he just like sings. So he has like a microphone. He kind of walks around and he's like almost kind of stumbles, like he's like almost kind of drunk or something.
Yeah.
And I think that is where my daughter had the most fun, is like seeing that kind of buffoonery.
Yeah.
On stage like that, and everyone just going crazy about it.
Yeah.
I think that was her favorite part.
That's cool.
I mean, it's so much so that when she was recording things with her phone, she was more recording just like the talking parts.
Yeah.
So whatever. I mean, I don't know if she'll remember it or like really care about it in the future, but it wasn't so much the music, I think, but I wanted her to like kind of see like the spectacle.
Yeah.
And the show itself, it was in this venue called Riverbend, which is really cool. It's kind of like this amphitheater, and it's like outside, but there's like no like lawn or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people play there, and it is like 10 minutes away from my house.
That's nice.
I had no idea it was so close. And now I feel like an idiot for not going and seeing like Garbage there, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I would have gone to that.
But it was a good show. But this place was, it was outside, and I didn't feel like the acoustics in there were very good. But maybe it was just where we were sitting. But I don't know. It was definitely like the worst of the three times. And I'm not saying that like the first time I ever saw them was like July 2nd, 1996. It was like a week before the keyboard player OD'd and died. And then like, I kicked Jimmy out of the band, and like everything changed. So I feel as though I could say that I arguably saw them like at their highest point.
Yeah.
Like at that moment, like a week before, like the entire band like kind of crumbled in a way.
Was that like the Melancholy tour?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Garbage opened for them on that show too.
Yeah.
But I feel like I could say that like I saw them at their peak.
Yeah.
So nothing's like going to even come close to that. I saw them at the Odd in Buffalo, the Buffalo Memorial Auditorium.
Yeah. Where the Sabres played, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I think that like nothing could ever compare to that. But I didn't see that. I did see Zwan one time, which was like his band like afterwards, which I think was very good. Like their one album is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw them and I thought that was a great show. Like better than most of the stuff, if anything, I've heard like since he reformed, like his solo stuff or like the Pumpkin stuff. I think the Swan was better than that.
Yeah.
But then I saw them at like OU, Ohio University.
Okay.
Like I want to say when they first all got back together, except for Darcy, obviously.
Yeah.
And that was like a really good show.
When
it seemed like
about
they were
would
really
you say that was roughly?
What's that?
Like what year was that?
I want to say it was probably 2017.
Okay,
maybe
so not so long
2018
ago.
maybe.
Oh, okay.
No, not that long ago.
Okay.
It might be 2018.
Yeah.
Like summer of 2018. But I mean, I thought that was like a great show. It was clear that they had a lot of like energy, like just excitement to be all like playing together again and playing this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they played like a lot of like deep cuts, I guess. But also they didn't feel like they weren't just going through the motions, I guess. But in this show, I think was a late addition to their tour because all the other dates have had like openers and Interpol has opened for them.
On this tour?
On this tour,
Okay.
yes.
That'd be kind of cool.
And
Interpol.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would have loved to see them, but they didn't open on this show. Like nobody opened on this show. They just like came on right at 8:00.
Yeah.
And just like and played their stuff, and then we're done. Like no encore. Like it just seemed like they, like maybe they're on their way to someplace else.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we could probably stop in Cincinnati if we wanted to. Like, let's see if there's anything available there. And I felt like they were just tired.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be doing it like that night, maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was not nearly as good as either of the two times that I've seen him. And I mean, I don't know if I feel any desire to like really see him again. I don't think I need to.
Yeah.
So I'm good. So a little bit of a different experience. I didn't have a religious experience like you. I wish that I could. I mean, what I think is really cool though is that you were able to go see Mike Watt and even now, like, have an experience like that.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I feel like that is not something that... Sometimes it feels like it's not even possible. Like, once you hit a certain age of, like having seen a lot of people, and, like nothing is going to affect you to that level.
Yeah.
Like, as it did, like, the first time seeing, like, so-and-so, or this, going, seeing somebody play or something. Like it never seems like anything will hit that level again. And it's really, really cool to see that actually it can.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen someone live and, I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm saying, it's like I knew that about him or, based on, reading an interview or watching something, but then like seeing it in person is like this whole other made it real,
Yeah. Just like you felt like the power of his presence.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that like a,
that sounds kind of dramatic,
way,
but
yeah.
it's not that. It's just seeing the way the guy chooses to live his life, like,
yeah,
I mean, it's just cool. I don't know. I just found it inspirational, like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, Why
Yeah.
is he doing what he's doing? Why am I making YouTube videos? Like ask yourself that. Why are you doing it? Why were you doing it, and why are you doing it now? And if those aren't the same thing, then why not? And why do you want to be doing what you're doing? That's how I felt. I'm not asking you that. I'm saying that's how I felt.
No,
like I don't want to upload certain things to certain channels because I'm worried about. Okay, well, are you making YouTube videos for the money? No. Are you trying to get more subscribers and become more famous? No. Well, why are you doing it?
Because you just want to share something you're excited about.
Yeah. Then why do I care about all this other stuff? I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I
agree.
It's stupid.
I agree.
I mean, to me, I just feel like parallels just because, like I look at who watches my side channel,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of people that I hold in high regard, you, Joe, Johnny Millennium, maybe Tim Rogers. Does he actually still watch? Who knows? Maybe.
But I mean, that's
I'm saying
that's the people you care about. The people you care about.
If the people I respect think that what I'm doing is good,
yeah, maybe Mike Watt watches.
I seriously doubt that.
What if you found out that he did?
That'd be pretty cool. But
yeah,
not sure. Mike
he's like,
Watt.
oh man, I like your podcast. Can I be on it?
Not sure Mike Watt's a gamer, but
probably not. It's, he's probably doesn't feel any. He's got plenty of other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Or to occupy his time.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're over an hour and a half now, so maybe we should call it a day on episode 44, the Coury Carlson golden episode.
The golden episode. You're never gonna happen again.
Yeah.
Unless,
but mine's 2 episodes away.
Yes.
But I'm not as excited about it as you are. I don't think so. I'm more amazed we've made 44 episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Really. In a good way, I'm saying that's
I think
cool.
we should just try to do 100 and just cut it.
Really? I'm going to just say 100, we're done.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a ballsy thing to do.
I mean, it would be, if you told people right now, like, we're stopping at episode 100.
Yeah. I think that'd be okay.
I mean, it's better than these people that just stop doing something and never say anything.
Yeah, it gives us a goal. Like, we're going to make 100 episodes.
Yeah.
And then we can say, like, listen, we made 100 episodes of a podcast.
Yeah.
Who are we trying to impress?
Yeah. Nobody. All right. Anyway.
That'll do it, I guess.
Yeah. Have a
all right. I'll see you next time or hear you next time.
Yeah.